We are, because God is. Because God is love itself, and wisdom itself. God is life itself. All things are full of God, and all take their portion from that fullness. We cannot spiritually renew without some knowledge of the new, or spiritual, life of the true idea that we ought to believe, and the good things that we ought to do. We cannot learn these things on our own, because on our own we can comprehend things only through our physical sense. Our physical sense gives us information about the material world, and ourselves not about heavens and God. Spiritual knowledge comes from revelation. Only when we love God and to do goodness toward others can we receive knowledge of the true way and have faith in it. We cannot do this when we live a life based on selfishness and materialism. If we lead a life of love and usefulness, we are in the divine life. We can become joined to the divine life in no other way. When we love our neighbors as ourselves, we do perceive delight in loving kindness in its practice, or in its use. A life of loving kindness is a life of useful service. If people are earthbound, they focus upon and love themselves and the material world. Spiritual people do not focus upon self and the material world unless it serves to promote some spiritual service. Earthbound people seem to themselves to have life when they are promoted to positions of importance and prestige over others. Spiritual people seem to themselves to have life in humility and in being the least. They do not ignore positions of importance, provided that these can be used to be of service to others. Earthbound people experience bliss when they are richer than others and possess the world wealth. When they become spiritual, they are in their bliss when they have knowledge of what is truth and good, which is their treasure. We cannot have humility when we love only ourselves. Selfish love is hard, but love of the divine is soft. Selfish love must be completely crushed. Heaven consists of a heartfelt desire for the good of others, rather than our own good. To shun evil is to do good. Heavenly love is loving what is good, honest, and just, simply because it is good, honest, and just. and it is undertaking action from love. Thought from the eye closes the understanding. Thought from the understanding opens the eye. We attain enlightenment when we love truth for the sake of truth, and not for the sake of self-promotion or worldly gain. Conscience is a new will and new understanding implanted in us by God. So, it is that God is present with us to the degree that we love goodness and truth. Love consists in desiring to give what is one's own to another, to feel the joy of another as joy in oneself. That is loving. The Lord's Church is spread over the whole universe. All who live a good life, according to their own religious beliefs, are members of it. All religion related to life, and the life of religion is to do good. The life leading to heaven is not one withdrawn from the world, but a life active in the world. A life of piety, separated from a life of love, does not lead to heaven. Only a life of love does. Two things make up the essence of God, which is love and wisdom. The essence of God's love is made up of three things. Number 1, to love others outside of himself. Number 2, to be one with them. And number 3, to make them happy from himself. These three also make the essence of God's wisdom. Love and wisdom are one in God. Love desires these things, and wisdom puts them into effect. God's love goes forth not only to good people, but to evil people. God loves not only those who are in heaven, but also those who choose hell. For God is everywhere and forever the same. Every created thing is in itself inanimate and dead. But it is animated and given life by this, the divine is in it, and it is in the divine. Who is good, but does not long for truth, is not really good. The truth of man, who does not want to be good, does not shine. The Lord does not withdraw us from our personal hell, unless we see that we are in hell, and wish to be let out. In temptation, we seem to be left to ourselves, although this is not really the case. For God is intimately present in our inmost being and sustains us. Therefore, when we overcome temptation, we enter into a closer union with God.